Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode of the X Factor Safety Fireside Chat. Here, I'm your host, Pedro Macia. Y'all know me. I want to get to know you guys, so greatly appreciate everybody being here this evening. So yeah, man, what a week so far. It's only Tuesday at that. Um, so we're streaming across all your social media platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We're over here on the Safety FM radio station, safetyfm.com, safetyfm.live, and the Safety FM app. Check us out. Find us on there. So jumping right into it, and let me hit some of these comments before we get too far along. What's going on, Nick? Had Nick on yesterday. If you didn't catch that, catch the replay. It was some good conversation. We talked about gratitude and leadership. So definitely good conversation there. My man Gabe, what's going on, Gabe? How are you? Hello, everyone. Josh Becker. Hello, Josh. Good to see you, brother. Good to see everybody in here. Man, the crew's here. Jesus Valencia, what's going on, Brian? Hope everybody is having a wonderful evening thus far. So, what are we talking about today? We are talking about imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Those that are in the chat, those that are watching, viewing, give me, shoot a comment. Let me know what imposter syndrome means to you. Have you ever had that imposter syndrome? Have you ever felt imposter syndrome? The definition of imposter syndrome and where this came from, I looked it up, researched a little bit. It's a psychological pattern that an individual has whenever they have doubt in their skill, talent, or accomplishments. And it's a constant fear of being exposed as a fraud. Okay. Yeah, I get that. But what is that? Why do we have a constant fear, and why do we get that imposter syndrome? Is it because we have the fear that our skill isn't up to par to, are we comparing our skill to somebody else? Are we comparing our talents to, that of our supervisor, that of our, person that's working right alongside of us? So here are some of the tips, tricks, tools to help you get rid of that imposter syndrome. Know the signs. Know that you're starting to feel that imposter syndrome in all aspects, all facets of life, whether you're a CEO of multi-billion-dollar company, whether you're the newest person at a company. At one point in time, you would probably end up feeling that imposter syndrome. When I had someone copy my LinkedIn account, does that count? LOL. That's a good one, Nick. Knowing the signs, again, feeling like, you got lucky when you really actually prepared and worked really hard. You didn't get lucky. You worked your ass off. You prepared, and you reap the benefits. And it also goes into that, that feeling of not being worthy enough. Just to let everybody that's watching, anybody that's listening, you are worthy. We need you. I cannot do your part. Only you can do your part. Oh man, then it sounds like the opposite of the Dunning-Kruger effect. And in my experience, I see a lot more of that in the industry. Yes, especially in the safety industry. That imposter syndrome, and you get some new safety directors and new safety professionals that, they know they're doing good, but yet they're second guessing themselves. They're not thinking that they're good enough or that they're worthy enough to be a safety professional. Why am I here? What am I doing? So rule number one, know the signs. Tip number one, know the signs. Number two, know that you are not alone. You can reach out. You can talk to people. You can definitely seek advice and guidance. And a couple of further tips, we'll go into it. But you have to be able to distinguish humility, and fear. One of the quotes that I got for this evening, Carl Richards said, after spending a lot of time fine tuning our ability, isn't it sort of the point that our skill looks and feels natural? So just think about that for a second. We spend all this time fine tuning, what we do, practicing our craft, honing in on our skills. So it should be second nature. It should be that good habit that you end up coming to, and knowing that you're putting in the work, you're fine tuning and honing those skills, to put around that tool belt, that arsenal of a tool belt that you have. Well, when you do that, guess what? It becomes second nature. It feels natural, right? What's going on, Shane? Good to see you. Good to see you. Josh Becker. That's what we are all here for, supporting each other. Yep, we are all just a message away. That's it. And 20 years ago, not so much. It was you were still able to reach out. You were still able to ask for help. But now, as with technology and the way the times have come so far, all I got to do is pick up a phone, shoot somebody a DM, say, "Hey, I'm having a little bit of imposter syndrome. I'm having that fear, like I'm not doing good enough. I'm not, and we have lots of people that are there to help. Mr. Kenneth, Pedro, it is this is such a beautifully well articulated and eloquently stated, heartfelt show tonight, from a gem of a gentleman and a human being and a friend of mine, and the millions who share his goodness with others for the betterment of humankind. Savor the flavor of the awesomeness in you, sir. Greatly appreciate you, Mr. Kenneth. Dennis said, agreed. LinkedIn is a great platform for support and getting help. Yes, it is. Jesus, amen. Josh Becker. And again, find your support system. There's all kinds of support systems out there. With that being said, ask for help when you start feeling those signs, and those signs of just like burnout, just like your mental fatigue, those types of things. Hey, you have to ask for help. Again, we don't know. We try to know. We try to ask the questions, but when you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. But if we don't know, we don't ask the right questions. So, let us know. Come up to us, ask us, shoot us a DM. Everybody that's in the chat, they're here to help. They're here to help us out. So again, when you feel unworthy, any kind of response, any kind of positive feedback, any kind of reward feels like a scam, right? So you got to understand and distinguish humility and fear. Fear, in my eyes, is face everything and rise, right? Yeah, it's going to be tough. There's going to be times where you're going to be, on your last win, your last pushing effort, but keep pushing, because guess what? You live to fight another day. You keep grinding. You keep climbing that mountain to success. Whatever your mountain is, whatever your success is, it's a journey, and you have to trust the process. So let go of your perfectionist, your inner perfectionist. Stop always trying to be so damn perfect, because nobody's going to be perfect. There is something that is inside of all of us, then we want to be perfect. We want to put our best foot forward. We want to be able to, make our worth feel worthy, right? Our job feel worthy enough of, somebody come in and say, hey, they did a damn good job. But you have to let go of your inner perfectionist. You can't be perfect. Nobody can. Now, granted, if and I bring this up because it's a great movie of mine, and they say it that in Remember the Titans, when they're in the locker room, their last game, and Julius says that that he's not perfect and nobody else is perfect, but the team itself is perfect because they work hard, they grind, they use each other's strengths, they know each other's weaknesses, and they make each other vulnerable and hold each other accountable. So, with that being said, guess what? Get out there and grind, win that last game. Many people fear being vulnerable. However, vulnerability has plenty of benefits. I cannot stress that enough. Jesus makes a great point. Being vulnerable lets people see that you're human, that you too have feelings and sentiments, and that you're willing to show that out in public and be able to go out there and, hey, I need help. Let me see. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah. Give me a second, Jesus, because I got something for that. Siobhan, here's my Calendly to schedule our podcast recording. I don't think you meant to send that to me. Shane, Nick Dorsey. Oh man, I'm around fairly often. This is my social life. LOL. and it's good to get on here and be able to gain some value out of some of this these talks and what we do. So number 5, tip number 4, let go of the inner perfectionist. Stop trying to be perfect all the time. There's something that's gonna be left on the table. Prioritize what you have to, but stop trying to be perfect. You can't be perfect. You're never gonna be perfect. Now, can you produce a perfect product, a perfect outcome? Yes, but stop trying to be perfect. Be easy on yourself. And that's the next one. Be kind to yourself. Okay. Don't beat yourself up too much. Don't be so hard on yourself. Stop trying to be the expert in one day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Why do you have to be the expert in one day? Granted, you go in, especially to a new job, 2021, just is the time for growth. So you knowing that you're headed to a new job, don't try to be perfect. Try to learn the lay of the land. Try to open your mind up and your vision, so that way, if you have a team that you're trying to restructure, and me and Nick talked about it yesterday, you have a team that you're trying to restructure, a culture that you're trying to build, be open-minded. You can't go in there guns a-blazing, because guess what? It might already be a good culture that you're coming in and you're trying to change everything and rock the boat. And guess what? It ends up bad. But you go in there, you listen to the team members that you have, the teammates that you're working around, and then you figure out where you're weak. And I wouldn't say weak, where your points of improvement are at. And not only that, you find your strengths. Somebody might be good at paperwork. Somebody might be good at the hands-on, showing somebody how to train somebody, hands-on training. So you leverage those types of things, and it's great. Siobhan said, I'm sorry, never multitask. Now they know that she's an imposter. Not an imposter, multitasking. It happens. Kenny said, Nick Dorsey, good evening. Mr. Suave, debonair, sophisticated, stellar gentleman, and scholarly, articulated, eloquent human being who is also intelligent, gorgeously handsome looking, and so impeccably well dressed too. I appreciate you, Mr. Kenneth. So, be kind to yourself. Stop being so negative. Negative talk is a bad habit and can heavily influence, your anxiety, stress levels, which then end up leading to bigger and worse things, depression, which then ends up leading to, mental fatigue, so it's definitely something that needs to be looked upon. Go easy on yourself. Yes, you are your best friend and your worst critic all in the same time. But go easy on yourself. Take it easy on you, because you can only do what you can do. You can only give 100% of you. But, and I say this all the time, you cannot give 100% of yourself if your cup is full. So you can't give 100% to somebody if you're on 50%, right? So your cup has to be full, if not running over, in order to be able to give to somebody. Josh Becker said, every day is an opportunity to learn something, especially from the individuals doing the job. Amen. I like that. Man, Rizzo, what's going on, Rizzo? Try not to have a negative relationship with failure. Hug your failures and learn from them. We learn more from failures than we do from our successes. Amen. You only succeed if you fail. It's all good. We learn from our mistakes. I call them teachable moments. Nice. In my sweatshirts and hats. You're the man, Kenneth. Nice. Great engagement. Great, everybody. Shout out Tim Jones, who's watching, gave us a like over there on the Facebook. So greatly appreciate everybody tuning in, chatting. And it's something that, I wanted to touch on, because imposter syndrome is real. You start feeling that unworthiness. You start attacking yourself and beating yourself up for not being so perfect, and, thinking, am I good enough? Just do it. Just go out there and put your best foot forward and do your best out there. Another thing you can do, track your measures, right? You got to track your and measure your successes. Small wins, big wins, track them. If you're feeling that imposter syndrome, with posting on LinkedIn, put a couple posts out there, see what works, see what doesn't, testing the waters, and seeing, whether a video post is going to do a little bit better than, a picture, or if just an all text post is going to do better. Maybe throw an article out there, some type of slide deck, those types of things. But track what you are doing. Start off small, track your the small wins, and then lead up to the bigger wins. And I tell you what, you start doing that on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis, the imposter syndrome would go away, because you're tracking yourself. You're being judgmental to yourself. You're saying, damn, I need to improve on X, Y, and Z. Here's where I'm succeeding at, though. So let me keep doing this and fix. And I wouldn't say fix, because it's not broken, but add to what might not be working. Or it might be something where you just have to pivot. You throw that out the window and pivot, and then you change the whole routine and dynamic of things. Always, and I want to say, number 7, talk about it. The imposter syndrome and how you're feeling, being, like Jesus said, being vulnerable. Because a mentor, they're going to tell you like it is. They're going to shoot it to you straight. They're not going to sugarcoat anything, because they want you to get better. They want you to level up. It's very important. Talk to a manager that a good manager, a good supervisor that's there, that's going to listen to you, not sweep it under the rug and not disregard what you're feeling and how you're feeling. Those are the people that you express your feelings to. Express how you're feeling, because guess what? 9 times out of 10, your mentor and your supervisor manager have already gone through that, have already been through those rough patches that, you're going through. So it definitely is one of those things that you bring it up, you talk about it, and guess what? They might say, hey, here's how I dealt with it. Here is some of the things that I suggest. And again, they're only going to give you suggestions. It's what you decide to do with those suggestions and that advice to move forward, to get past the imposter syndrome. So bring it to your mentor. The mentor is going to, knock you around a couple of times, and he's going to, he or she's going to tell you, get off your ass, keep grinding, keep pushing forward. And, so that way you can be great. Your supervisor, same thing. If it's a good supervisor, and they, they're going to tell you exactly what you need to hear to continue to be successful, to help you move to that next chapter and be successful. Siobhan said, I like to write love notes and inspiration, motivational notes to myself when I'm in a great mood. Then when I feel down, I read them. Huh. That's an interesting one. Definitely. Enrique, my man, what's going on? Said my man Pedro, good to see you, brother. So with that being said, talking to a mentor, and again, Number 8. Tip number 8. Say yes to opportunities. And what do I mean by that? Say yes to opportunities. Uh, Richard Branson said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes. And then you figure it out later. Say yes. You cannot get stuck in, you know, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to do that job, or I don't think I can do that job. No, say yes. Take that leap, right? Being talking on the platform Clubhouse, and hearing some of the conversations that go on, and some of the golden nuggets and gems that have been dropped. I was in a room with Glenn Morshower, and he was talking about building relationship capital. That goes a long way to be able to connect on such a vast level of um, vulnerability, right? I can be vulnerable with you. You can be vulnerable with me. Now let's be vulnerable together, right? Say yes to those opportunities because you can succeed. You can figure it out, right? Say yes. Even if you don't think you can do it, say yes. Because guess what? Then you are going to do it because you said yes. Now you have to push yourself to be great, right? What I do is listen to some guided affirmations every morning. I am successful. I am resilient. I am improving my life and the life of others. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love this. Opportunity knocks, but you have to open. You have to open. Yes. I've taken a step and a dive into the deep end a couple of times, thinking I should give it a shot. Found out I wasn't ready for that level yet professionally. Humility kicked in, and told me go back to the field and keep learning. Hey, and sometimes it does, but you said yes. You went out there, you went off the deep end, right? You swam back a little bit. Okay. Get out of the deep end, get back into the shallow waters, get grounded, and then go back and pursue what you're doing. So thank you for that, Shane. Greatly appreciate that, brother. And again, you can do it. You can do it. And I tell you, I wrote all this stuff down. Bam. Number 9, tip number 9, embrace the feeling and use it. Embrace that feeling of fear, that feeling of, oh shit, I'm getting imposter syndrome. And pardon my language, if you have the kids around, sometimes we do that. But you have to, embrace that feeling of imposter syndrome and use it as rocket fuel, motivation, inspiration, to keep pushing forward, to continue your fight. Because again, only you can do your part. I can't do it. Nobody else can do what you do. Only you can. So keep grinding, keep fighting out there. You got to turn that fear into, like I said, inspiration, motivation. So it definitely is. If you're able to embrace it and harness it like you're supposed to, and be able to use that and turn it from a negative into a positive, right? It inspires you. It's like a burning inside of you, and when that gets really really hot and you explode, guess what? You're going to explode and be motivated to be successful, to continue to drive to be successful. And again, you might get set back a little bit, but guess what? You have your head up. You keep moving in the right direction, onward and upward. Oh man, Reggie, what's going on? Keep building and inspiring, Pedro. Greatly appreciate that. Kenneth said, Enrique Gonzalez, of course, absolutely. I concur with you on this one, sir. Let your fear be your rocket fuel. Amen, Rizzo. I greatly appreciate it. Kenneth, aka Mr. Dopamine. Good evening, Mr. Debonair gentleman. So again, I mean, and those 9 tips, again, we go over them. It's know the signs, right? Go easy on yourself. Stop trying to be perfect. Okay. Use and embrace that feeling, that overwhelming feeling of imposter syndrome, and let it propel you in a positive way to your next step in life, onward and upward. And again, talk to your mentors, talk to your supervisors, be vulnerable. And some people have a little bit too much pride to be vulnerable. And when set that aside, granted, trust me, I know about being prideful, about not showing emotion, but when you do and you're able to do that type of stuff and actually embrace that starts to become emotional intelligence. You start understanding yourself, you start understanding people. And when you're able to open up, guess what? When somebody else comes to you and starts to open up, you know what that feels like. And now the tables have turned. Somebody's telling you, hey, I think I'm having imposter syndrome. Well, shit, I just did that last year, right? I just overcame that and I'm here now. Why? Because I'm supposed to be here helping you, right? Tell me what you're going through. How can we get through this together? And I mean, it's a great thing when you're able to be vulnerable like that. Fear is false expectations appearing real. Squash the fear, fall back, and let God promote you. Amen. Amen, Rizzo. Pedro, I love the perfection. I don't try to be perfect. Fear causes me to ask questions. By asking questions, I am engaging with other people. The result is relationship building. That is true. That is true. And being fearful, it is a good thing. Yes, you fear certain things, but you know, like Rizzo said, false expectations appearing real. You know, uh, it also stands for face everything and rise. Right. So if you're able to face those fears, okay, using the same word in a double meaning, but you're able to face those fears, guess what? And like Shane said, you're able to engage with people because you are curious. You're asking the questions, even though you have a fear inside. Hey, let me ask that just to be on the safe side, just to see and see what the response I'm going to get. What kind of engagement am I going to get? And then guess what? You face whatever's coming to you head on. Take it head on, right? And then you rise. You rise to your journey. You rise to your successes. Again, trust the process. It's a journey. It is a journey, and I'm here to walk alongside you on your journeys, whatever that may be. So yeah, definitely. People liking us on the Facebook. Eric Von Ranhorn, Kurt, Brandon, what's going on, my man? Kurt, good to see you, brother. So I mean, just everything that we go through in life, know that you are needed. You are here for a reason, because nobody can do what you do. I can't do that. Only you can. I greatly appreciate everybody that's been in the chat, that is here, that took time out of their evening to come chill with us and give us some words of wisdom as well. Greatly appreciate everybody that's been listening on your rides home over on the radio station. Greatly appreciate you all. So without that, let me see. I've got a couple of comments coming in. It starts with heightened self-awareness. Definitely a journey of my own, and grateful to have you in my corner. Greatly appreciate that, Siobhan. It's like you said, self-awareness. You got to know yourself first before you can help others. But when you do have that self-awareness, guess what? You hold yourself a little more accountable, right? People are going to hold you accountable that are around you, the positive mentors, the positive supervisors that you have, right? But who's going to be the hardest on you? Yourself. Keep it up, sir. Your word helps us all. Hey, and that's what we're here to do, brother. We are here to help as much as we can. Um, Spread as much love that we can out there, and bring value. My man Kurt Brandon, what's going on? Fear is false evidence appearing. Look at that. See, you and my man Rizzo said the same thing. It's okay if other people say bad things about you, but you must never say bad things about yourself. That is correct. I agree 100%, Kurt, and greatly appreciate seeing you in the comments, man. You know, granted, people are going to talk about you all day long, right? You're going to have haters. But if you keep pushing forward, guess what? Sooner or later, those haters are going to turn to likers, or they're just going to continue, being haters. It's okay. Haters help us out too, because guess what? They're talking about you, and they're saying all these things that aren't real, all the stuff that is fake news, and you just keep on grinding, keep on leveling up, and guess what? Those haters are like, damn, I want to be like him, or I want to be like her. And then guess what? Your haters are contacting you. Hey, how do I do that? Or how did you get to where you are? And then you can become a mentor to those haters. Do you think safety professionals are better equipped to cope with imposter syndrome, since it is up to us to be able to say, I don't know, because otherwise lives may be at risk? That's a good question. And I say, yes, we are better equipped to deal with imposter syndrome. And like you say, to say I don't know, or to say I am not the expert, but I can provide guidance, right? Because we know people's lives are at risk. And then we as safety professionals, yes, sometimes that imposter syndrome sits, especially get into a new job, get into a new construction project. um it's definitely, um I'm gonna put Jesus's comment up, but dealing with imposter syndrome as a safety professional, it does sometimes come about, but you have to, you shake that feeling. And I think, maybe I'm wrong. Safety professionals that are in the chat, please let me know. But you shake that feeling of, I can't be, in a sense, called a fake or a fraud for not knowing, because you do know, or you know where to get the information, because like you said, Siobhan, um, the people's lives are at risk. So can we cope with imposter syndrome a little bit better? Some better than others. Yes. I say yes. And hey Seuss, I did not mean to miss up dinner, brother. I'm sorry. Great message. I was so hooked. I forgot I had lasagna in the oven. Oh well, sacrifices have to be made. Oh man. Hey Seuss, don't burn dinner. Your wife's gonna get mad, man. Uh kid. I love lasagna. Lasagna's good. So again, just wanted to give, that little bit of value. If you are starting to feel that imposter syndrome, if you have it, if you know somebody that might be going through it, reach out, say, hey, I've been noticing that you've been a little harder on yourself. What's going on? How can I help? How am I able to help you be successful? So with that being said, um, people over on the radio station, thank you for lending us your ears. I greatly appreciate it. Everybody in the chat that has been super interactive and engaging, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I do this, we do this for you over here at the X Factor Safety. Um, we love to bring value as much as possible. So until next time, okay, ask yourself that one question: what is your X factor? I'll see you later.